Okay, well, hopefully you've seen my other video, Mazda 5. It's a '07 Mazda 5. The oil cooler gasket and seal was leaking, so I took some video of that, show you where exactly it was leaking at. Now I've got the whole unit out. This right here is where your oil filter goes in. Right down at the bottom you can see is the drain. You remove this whole part to get your oil filter out. That's normally how you would change your oil on a Mazda 5. Over here we've got the sending unit. Probably tells if you have low oil or something like that. Up here is a cooler. This cooler has two lines in it, one here and one right here. Those are actually antifreeze or coolant lines. The coolant flows through those, helps to cool the oil that's going back into the engine. The dealership, when you have a leak, in between here is where the leak actually happens, right in between where these two meet. The dealership wants to sell you the whole unit for about $500. When really what's wrong is there's a gasket in between here that goes bad. It was pretty easy getting this thing off. You can see it under the car from my other picture. But really there's only these four bolts right here. They're four 10mm bolts. Pretty basic stuff. Those four 10mm bolts hold it on. They go through those bolt holes right down there. You can see this one right up here in the top corner is a little bit tricky to get to. These are the only tools that I needed to get it off with. I used a pair of pliers to do the hose clamps over here. Of course, slide the hose clamps back. Notice I left this hose on there only because hose clamp on this top side right here when it's in the vehicle is very hard to get at. It's up above you. And the one on the bottom here, goes back into the cooling system of the car, the engine block actually, and it's really easy to get to from the bottom. So up here, I took that hose off, I left it on the car, I took the other one off down here, took it all apart. Those are the only tools I used, a 10mm socket, a ratchet, and a pair of pliers to loosen the hose clamps. I will say on this, I use this nifty little extension that I have. As you can kind of see, it's called a wobble extension because it allows the socket head to wobble like this on the end of the extension. It's similar to a swivel, except it just gives you a little bit of play. That's really handy, especially getting down in these really tight spots like this, so that you can get in there, and have a straight shot, but your ratchet can actually be off at a little bit of an angle like this when you get to that. So now what we're going to do, now that we've got it off, now I've already loosened most of this stuff up. This is the sending unit. I did take this out, to get better access to that bolt hole. And now we're going to take a look inside this thing of what I found out. If you look at the top side of it, it's just got one bolt that holds it. That's all that really holds the thing. Around this side, you can see that's where it mounts actually to the engine. Uses a gasket right over here like that. So we've done that. I loosened this up right up here. This is a 15mm bolt. It came out pretty easy. So I loosened this up. And I'm going to take this off real quick and show you how it looks inside. It just comes right apart like that. When you look at the insides of these, you can see it's pretty well a flat surface, mating surface. What I'm going to do is clean this up really good all around the outside and this little residue here. And over here, you can see that there's a plastic rubber gasket that comes off of here. And on mine, in this case, you can see as I turn it over, this plastic rubber gasket, actually, you look at it really close, it's broken. So I noticed right in here, it is broken. So that's probably my culprit. So what I'm going to do is clean up this whole surface around here really well. I'm going to clean this gasket up best I can. I'll probably use some degreaser, brake cleaner or something on this just to make sure I get a good bond. And then on this side, I'm probably going to put some Permatex gasket stuff. I haven't used this type before, but supposedly it's the best stuff that Permatex makes. Similar to the RTV Gray or RTV Black, but it's called the Right Stuff Gasket Sealer, and it's supposed to be 1 minute. You know, you don't even have to let it set. It does say it cures in something like 12 or 24 hours, but you put it on there, you torque it down to the right torque specifications, and then we're going to try to see if this thing works. So that's how we're going to go ahead and fix this. If you look in my next video, maybe we can see what it looks like when we assemble it, and we'll put it back on the car and see how the repair goes.